everyone, this is your favorite Murtad Adam live once again with you guys at a very irregular time today because one of my friend was having a debate slash discussion on Facebook with a Muslima. Hello Connie, welcome. We are live and I was talking to my viewers and telling them you were having a discussion with one of the Muslima and she was trying to refute you. So we are here on a irregular time. That's not my usual time to go live. Anyway, so we are going to talk about Quran chapter number 4, verse number 34.
Well, hello there, Adam.
Hello, and Connie, you can say hello to everyone. A lot of people are already here. Hi, John Isaac. Welcome to the stream, buddy. And welcome, everyone. God bless you. God bless each and every one of you. So, women doesn't have any rights in Islam. Full stop. Like literally, they do not have any rights. And I can do a live debate on women rights in Islam any day of the time. Like any time of the day. Sorry, that's how you say it in English. So anyhow, so that's what it is. But um Connie Frank, that's how it is, right? So she was having a discussion with a Muslima on Quran chapter number 4. And by the way, Muslim comes up with the Quran chapter number 4 saying, hey, it's the chapter of the woman, chapter of the woman. See how good Allah is that we have a full chapter about women in Quran. Like imagine, just read this chapter, you will see how derogatory this chapter is for women. Connie, did I use the right word? It should be derogatory or bad verse. Like it's like humiliating. This chapter is for women. Frank, by the way, you got
Yes, it's a great humiliation. Spiritually, it goes back to the Canaanite nations. Yes, sir.
awesome, awesome. So yes, so this particular verse, let's read it first, and then I will show you what the Arabic is. Men are in charge of women. Imagine that. This verse starts by saying men are in charge of women. Like imagine that to begin with it describes men on a much higher level than women, and not just higher level, they are in charge of women. You know what in charge is? Like let's look at it from the Quran itself, what in charge is. Because Allah had made one of them to excel the other. Okay, so now because Allah just created men to be better than women. Okay, that's what this verse is saying. And the Arabic word is a wow above there. Wa bima, wow, and so they are afzal bima fazal Allah, bestowed, Allah has done the bestowed on the men, and because let's go back, they spend from their property on the woman. So basically because in the 7th century Arabia, women weren't working and they were just sitting in home, and men used to go out and work. So they are afzal, they are excelled other than women, number one. Number two, and because they spend money on the woman. So that's why they are in charge. Hi Eric Smith, welcome to the channel. If you would like to join in, let me know. Eric Smith is also a very great person. He runs a channel of his own, destroying the false teaching of Islam. All right, so they spend. Okay, that's what they do. That's why they are good. Now, so good women are obedient. So good women are what? They are obedient to who? To their men. Okay, guarding in secret which Allah hath guarded. So guarding themselves or guarding the house or so different scholars will add different things to it. Guarding what? Their own self, their houses, their children, their wealth, etc., etc., etc. Allah didn't say which thing. As for these women, whom you fear rebellion. Now the problem here is you fear rebellion. These two words are very important. First, They are not rebellion yet. You fear rebellion.
Yeah, it's
Would you
so
like to add something?
terrible. No facts, no nothing, just on his feelings.
Exactly. Just on the feeling, because you are fearing rebellion. Admonish them and banish them to beds apart. Now, this thing in a Western world, all of my Western viewers would think, hey, this is a punishment for a man as well, right? Because in America and in Europe, a man cannot have multiple wives, right? Now, imagine in the Eastern world or in the Muslim countries, let me just put it this way, anyone can marry and have four wives. Full stop. Nobody can stop them. By law, it is allowed. By the Sharia, it is allowed. Every Muslim country, full stop, all can have more than one wives. Okay, it is the anticipation of rebellion. Yes, CD, that is actually true. So admonish them and banish them to beds apart. So now when you move one of your wife in a bed, and then she's in her bedroom, she is the slave that you have in her bed, what is going to happen? This is a punishment for her. She is in solitary confinement at this moment. She is in solitary confinement. So yes, CD, yes, Constitution America makes polygamy illegal. Perfect, that's good. Like that. It should be illegal. But the Muslims can have four wives, plus they can have all the slave women in the world they like. So they can buy slaves. I have done a video of Malakat al Yamin. Please watch that video. You will enjoy that. So for sex, it is actually rape. Like if you capture a woman and put her into your bed, that's actually rape, quite frankly. But okay, Allah's book will not mention it as rape, it will just mention it as sex. I'm sorry, Connie. But anyhow, so that woman is banished in her bedroom, and that's her initial punishment. And then what? Scourge them, scourge them, and scourge them. The word here used is scourge. Okay, some people who are not from the Eastern culture and they do not have their English as their first language, just like me, I actually had to look up this English word, what it means. Scourge is not beating. It is a scourge is a lashing, whipping, especially multiple type thong used to inflict severe corporal punishment in such a way, and it should usually they just said usually made out of leather so that the punishment will be harsh, and this is the result of the scourging on the back of a person. So Muslim scholars nowadays in the 20th century comes up and say, hey, beat her with a toothbrush or maswak, which they use to clean the teeth. It's all BS. That's the cleanest word I can use. It is all BS. Quran does not use that word. Quran does not use that word. The word in Quran, now let's go back to Quran. Let me show you what the word is. Udrubuhunna. Okay, udrubuhun. Okay, that simply means scourging or beating, striking. Uzribuhunna, wow means and okay, once you have forsaken them in bed, and strike them. So the simple English would be striking them. Wa uzrubuhunna, and strike them. There is nothing called finally. It is not step one, step two, step three. The finally, as you can see, it is in braces as already. It is not in the meaning of wadrubuhunna. It simply means strike them. And Pechtal actually translated it as scourging, because striking does not implicate it in a full meaning. Okay, it is scourging, like severe punishment, extremely severe punishment. Now, Frank, Connie, Frank, All yours. What was the woman saying to you, and is she coming on live? You are on mute, Frank Connie.
Yeah, no, she just now said it that she's not going to come live, that later on she'll open up a Zoom and we can come live with her.
No, so it doesn't happen like that.
I
She needs
know
to
it
come here
doesn't. Yes, I
because
know, because they'll
I
want to
have,
mute us and they'll play games and
yeah,
everything else.
and and she is the most deceptive woman I have ever met on the face of planet Earth. Let me just say that out loud
Yeah.
to everyone. Um, she knows a bit of Arabic. She has been to Dubai, and every time I speak with her on Arabic and the Arabic words, she starts running behind the bushes. Rather, no, that's not you say. You say beating the bushes, right? And then she will move to scholars. And then
She
if I
beats
give her
around the bushes.
exactly. And when I
Yeah.
give her the scholarly agreement, she'll say these are the older scholars, they do not know, the newer scholars know. So when I give her some new scholar, she's like, this guy was an idiot fool, but this guy is good. So basically, she will have, like, she is the one who runs she jumps from one part another, and she has no idea, but she holds her own Islam version 3.0, which does not even make sense at all because her version goes against all the scholarly consensus and everything and everybody 100%.
Wow, that's really sad. I mean, they're not going to stick with the Quran and then they just find their favorite scholars that try to water down what the Quran even says. I mean, they might as well just say they're not even in Islam anymore because they're not following their own God's word.
Oh, yes, they have. Oh my goodness, yes, you actually said it right. They do not follow anything whatsoever. They follow uh, a version of Quran that doesn't make sense to anybody but to them so that they can make it look good. So let me just go to a hadith before I close this. But this is very good. By the way, this is Sahih al-Bukhari, hadith number 5825. This is as Sahih as you can go to. There is not a single book better than Sahih Bukhari when it comes to Sahih, because this is the closest to Muhammad, and yet it is 250 years later. Anyhow, Rafia divorced his wife, whereupon Abdul Rahman bin etc. married her. Okay. Aisha said that the lady wearing a green veil came to her, complaining of her husband, showed her a green spot on her skin caused by beating. Green spot on her body caused by beating. Okay. It was the habit of ladies to support each other. So when Allah Messenger came, Aisha said, I have not seen any woman suffering as much as the believing woman. So imagine when Aisha is saying that I have not seen any woman suffering as much as believing women, what is Aisha comparing these women with? She is comparing these women with the women of the idolaters and the Jews and the Christians which were present at that time in Arabia.
Yes.
So imagine that even the women who are from the idolaters, right, who were worshipping idols, were having a better time, a quality life than the believing woman. That's why I highlighted this sentence. You need to dwell into this sentence. God bless you. God bless everyone. Thank you so much for the blessings that you guys are sending my way. Thank you. Praise Lord. Hallelujah. So Aisha is saying, I have not seen any woman suffering as much as the believing woman. Okay, that's very, very important. And this guy, thank you, CD. The link is above to Yasser Qadi video where he is giving a fatwa against Quran not to hit their wife in US. Okay, yes, perfect. Yeah, I think I have seen that video as well. He's saying that because American law does not allow that, Hence, you cannot do that in America. And the problem with this statement that he actually mentioned is that it means you are going against what Quran is teaching you. So basically, you are telling me right now that Quran is a book of old times. Right now, it doesn't apply. Hallelujah. Yasir Qadi, you are already a non-Muslim. Praise God. So, yes. Anyhow, let's move forward. What happens? Look, her skin is greener than her clothes. When Abdur Rahman heard that his wife gone to Prophet, he came with his two sons from another wife. Okay, from another wife. So imagine, these people have so many wives. She said, by Allah, I have done no wrong to him, but he is impotent and is useless to me as this. So, even in West, at this time and age, when everything is so open and uh, and uh, and there are rights of women and everything in America, even still, for a woman to state this sentence is very hard. You know what I'm saying? It's not an easy sentence to state about the husband of a woman.
Sure, because it's evil.
Exactly. Exactly. But if she's saying it, why is she saying it? Because he's beating her up. So now what he said, he's holding and showing the fringe of her garment. Okay. I don't even know what that means. Abdur Rahman said, by Allah, O Allah Messenger, she told a lie. I am very strong and can satisfy her, but she is disobedient and want to go back to Rafiya. So imagine, she's saying that this guy can't even do anything. And this guy actually saying she wants to go back to Rafiya. But this guy is beating her up. The main topic is that because she is disobedient and he is beating her up. Allah Messenger, what does he says? Allah Messenger should have said, hey, Mr. Abdul Rahman, you should beat her with a toothbrush. Why did you beat her green? Like you
Yeah.
cannot beat her green and blue, you know?
Woo!
But
Right.
look
Yeah,
what,
don't hurt her. Don't
yeah,
hurt her. Don't hurt her.
exactly. So according to the latest scholar, the next sentence that should come out of Prophet Muhammad mouth should be, Abdul Rahman, I am with you, but you shouldn't beat her. Now look what he says. Allah Messenger said to her, if this is your intention, then know that this is unlawful for you to remarry Rafiya unless Abdur Rahman had sexual intercourse with you. Now, this woman is saying he can't even do sexual intercourse with me. And obviously, this woman is with this guy for a few weeks or few months. I don't even know how long. But they are there together. And this guy can't even do that. Okay. But anyhow, that's not the point. Then the Prophet saw two boys of Abdurrahman and asked him, are these your son? On that, Abdurrahman said, yes. The Prophet said, you claim what you claim. But by Allah, these boys resemble him as a cow resemble a cow. Okay. So anyhow, it doesn't matter that whether these kids were of this guy or not. What matters is nowhere in this hadith, Muhammad replied saying to Abdurrahman, Abdurrahman, I am with you. Fair enough. The woman is disobedient. I understand that, but you cannot beat her green and blue. You should only beat her with a toothpaste or toothbrush or something like that. This is the reality of
Right.
the situation.
Right. And just because a man can father children when he's younger doesn't mean that he became impotent later on in his life. And that's what she's saying.
Exactly, and Diana
Hmm.
Summers actually stated a very good thing. Hi Diana, if you can come live, let me know. Abdul Rahman and Rafiya were the last two survivors of the Quraishi tribe. Rafiya was the uncle of Sufyan bin Huyayya. However, the Jewish law protected women against these kind of abuse. When Aisha said no woman suffer like the believers, she probably meant that the Sharia gave less protection than the Benthin. So yes, yes, thank you so much, Dana. So we already know the Jewish religion or the Jewish commandment gives much more rights. But yes, Aisha maybe comparing it with Jews, yes, for sure. And at the same time, the idolaters, the Quraishi tribe, like before they were Muslim, you know. And let's look at her second comment. I suspect that Muhammad ruled against this woman as an act of revenge against all three of them for their audacity. Eh, Perfect. Nice, 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 nice way to put it as well. Nice way to put it as well. So, by the way, Diana Summers is one of the key members of X17 Apologetics Facebook group. She is the moderator there, and she is doing a great job. And thank you so very much, Diana, for coming up live here. And if you can join, please join in. So that's the beauty of Islamic religion. That's the beauty of Islamic religion. That no matter how you look at it, women actually have no rights. Quran 434. Like even if I go and have a uh, live stream on women rights, I think it will take at least couple of hours because there is so much to cover. In short, if I say, let me give you a short single line summary of each and every conclusion of women rights in Islam. She could be married when she is still a child. I have already done a video on that. She has to obey her husband at all cost. If she does not obey her husband, the angels will curse her all night long. Okay. She should be ready for sex every time the husband call her for sex. Husband can have four wives, she cannot. Husband will have many women in heaven, she will only have her husband. She has to cover herself fully by the law of Quran. If she doesn't do that, she's doing a sin, committing a sin. But by the law of Quran, she has to cover herself. Doesn't matter whether it's hot outside or not. Her witness is half of a man. Her portion in father's inheritance is of half portion compared to her brother. She is an object of sin, and her husband has to pray for her when he marries her or about to go have ding dong with her. She is inferior in intelligence by Islamic preaching. She is inferior in religion by Islamic preaching, by Allah's will. She is the dweller of hellfire just by objecting to her husband, and because she gets periods, and hence she cannot even offer prayer during that time. According to a verse in Quran, she should be killed if her husband kills another woman, because the verse of Quran says, "Kill the woman for the woman." And if she gets to be a prisoner of war, she is a sex slave for the Muslimin. These are the basic rights of women per Islam. These are the basic rights of women per Islam. By the way, this is my article called Right of Women in Islam, and this is the conclusion. And all of the things that I stated are in conclusion, and each and every one of them are authentic according to Quran or ahadith, which are sahih. So you can read that article. It is called adamseekeroftruth.com, Rights of Women, and I am putting that in YouTube as well. Uh, and Dana's and what motive women like Linda and proclaim Islam as a pig? So women does so that's the problem, buddy. The Islam in West, they have changed it. They have fully changed it. They go against Quran, they go against Ahadith, they go everything because they are lying. In Islam, to get somebody to Islam, lying is allowed. It is it is allowed to lie to spread
Yes.
Islam.
Yeah. They've got an agenda, and it's just go away from um, what Christ has said, to go away from goodness, to progress the liberal thinking. I mean, there's so many Muslims that are against Linda Sarsour. I mean, even hijab, Muhammad hijab, exposes her.
That is good. And Elias, I have
Hmm.
not seen the link that you sent me. You gotta send me again. Or I think you are on Facebook with me. Send me on private chat, and I will see because Quran called embryology. Dude, I have destroyed embryology in Quran multiple times, but I will do that soon again. Uh, this has been destroyed in so many ways. It's just unbelievable. I don't even know if I need to a broken record again on this, but embryology in Quran is all a piece of BS. Uh, Fam, Adam, it is scary. Yes, it is scary. Quran is the most racist, scariest book on the face of planet. It is earth. It is only good for the men who have accepted Muhammad as the prophet and Allah as the God. It's only good for them. For the rest of the people, it is racist, even for the women. The men are called women have these kind of rights, and every non-Muslim in Quran, I have done a video called how Quran calls the non-Muslimi. Okay, you can watch it on my YouTube. It is there, and everyone who is not a Muslim is called a dog, witch, a pig. I don't know what the female of pig is. Um, worst of all creatures, donkeys, and I don't know what the female of donkey is. Um, and like worst of all living beings and worst of all creatures living in ditches. So this is the racism of Quran, that every one of them are called these kind of words. And the baby was a clod. Yeah. So yes. So let me just go to my YouTube, my videos, and the video is called "Great Words That Are Being Called for Islam, for non-Muslims." Uh, Connie, would you like to say something? You are
Yeah,
pretty quiet today.
yeah, it's what I'm realizing that is a lot of honest Muslims, a lot of honest people that are in Islam, when they're seeing other Muslims lie, they're leaving. So the more that they're lying, the more that honest people in Islam are leaving. So,
Yeah,
it, what I'm realizing that is a lot of honest Muslims, a lot of honest people that are in Islam, when they're seeing other Muslims lie, they're leaving. So the more that they're lying, the more that honest people in Islam are leaving.
amen.
So, what I'm realizing that is a lot of honest Muslims, a lot
I
of
think we
honest
are having a second
people.
voice from
Yeah, I
Dana.
hear it too. I don't know what to do. I'm going to go out and come back in.
Hi,
They're
Dana.
leaving.
Welcome to the
So the more
channel.
that they're
And
lying, the more that
you are
honest.
listening to our live stream as well. So we are having a loop back from your side. So can you close the live stream and just stay on the StreamYard with us, please?
Thank you. Will do.
Thank you so very much. Welcome, welcome. It's an honor to see you here up live. I know you are doing a great job on X17 Apologetics Group, and you have helped me a couple of times as well in the past, rather more than a couple. I'm just using a word of speech of word or whatever. So thank you so very much for all the things that you have helped me in the past. Please, what would you like to state here? The mic is all yours.
Sorry, I didn't expect you to ask that. I've nothing prepared. Um, yeah, you're doing a great job here, summarizing all the important points in the Quran. I
Oh,
suppose the point I made earlier was just how convenient some of Muhammad's rulings were when you realize the full context of what he said. Why you realize what's going on.
exactly, and you are always prepared. So whenever I send a text or something, you always send a pure, accurate, to the point reference. And we have CT who's saying, "Hi, Diana, thank you for your job with the David Wood. So people appreciate you, and much love and blessing. Thank you so very much, Johot. And yes, thank you so very much. You are doing a marvelous job, Dana. I appreciate
Thank,
everything that you are doing, and our listeners, whoever are working with David Wood as well, behind the scenes and everything, and in your YouTube group, Facebook group. Praise God. Thank you so very much, and may the Lord bless you abundantly. So what do you think when it comes to women, of Islamic women? Have you ever met an Islamic woman?
Oh, yes, I used to be a teacher, and I've been teaching Muslims as long as I've been teaching.
Wow. Wow. So have you like, tell us something more. Tell us some testimonies. Tell us something.
Well, in my psychology class, I had a 17-year-old girl who knew she was straight in line for a forced marriage.
Oh
And
my.
I just remember telling her, do you know this is illegal in Britain? And she was really surprised. And I said, according to Islam, you have to speak out. If you speak out, your parents can't force you. But according to British law, even if you don't speak out, they can't force you. So I actually gave her the telephone number she had to ring for the forced marriage bureau if it ever happened to her.
Wow. Wow. But basically in Quran, it is very easy. You can marry a woman. You can marry off your daughter
Yes,
when she is just a child. That is
indeed.
and they can divorce her and she can remarry. Like it's all let me because now this topic is up. Instead of showing you the verses, I'm gonna show a video, a short video.
Okay.
um, and I hope everyone will like it because I have already done a video on it already in the past where I've shown the Quranic verses
So this is
and
Surah 65, is this?
Surah 65 and the Surah 65 and the other surah which is 330 uh, 3 3 something, where it says that if the guy has not touched the girl, then there is no idda on her, and hence there is no waiting period on her. So all of these things combined will actually hey Eric Smith,
How
welcome
are
to the
you?
show, brother.
Hello, how
Oh,
are you?
we have big guns today over here. So guys,
I appreciate the compliment, but people call it small fries over on this side of the world.
oh man, Eric Smith runs a Radio Free Kafristan radio channel in Chicago or something like that, right?
The middle of Iowa, we sit on top of a silo out here, a corn silo, and we broadcast all across the country
Awesome.
from that
That's
silo. It's in Cedar Rapids, Iowa.
awesome. Thank you so very much for joining. So yeah, let's look at this video and then you guys can give me your valuable input. All of you guys will automatically go on mute.
يعني كلام صحيح البخاري.
نعم.
كلام الفتح، كلام الحافظ في الفتح، كل ده بيقول انه الاتفاق على انه الكلام هنا على الصغيرة التي لم تبلغ الحيض بعد، يجوز تزويجها وإن لم يحدث وفاق تطليقها، والشرع قال هذا فعدتها كذا. مين اللي قال الكلام ده زي ما بقول لحضرتك كده؟ ولا لم يحدث؟
الصغيرة، يعني الصغيرة اللي هي لم تبلغ الحيض يجوز.
نعم.
يجوز
الكلام
تزويجها.
طبعا الكلام ليس كلامي، انما الكلام على ايه؟
يعني تبقى مثلا، يعني مثلا كم سنة؟ يعني 10 سنين، 9 سنين، 8 سنين،
لم
11
يتحدث سن.
الحقيقة
لم يتحدث سن للزواج. لا الشريعة الإسلامية كلها. هات لي حد يقول لي اتحدث سن بيوم، بسنة، ب10، ب15، ب20.
انت على كده بقى، انت ممكن وهي لسه طفلة بقى شهر او شهرين بقى،
ان شاء الله حتى يوم.
Even she is 1 day old. What do you like to say, guys?
As my son, who's Muslim by kidnap, he says raw evil.
Raw evil. Okay, that's a good word. Dana.
Well, there was a pre-Islamic custom that you could marry off an unborn child who hadn't been conceived yet. You could say, hypothetically, if I have a daughter, you could marry her, and that girl would be born married. Now, Muhammad did not encourage this, but nor did he forbid it. So there's no, literally, minimum age.
And by the way, just to add to your point, this is actually still happening in Pakistan. So before, so if somebody has a born boy, like a couple of years old boy or whatever, the other brother would actually say, hey, if my next child would be a girl, she is yours. So they already do that even now. Even now they do that. Eric Smith.
Yeah, this is exactly why Islam is incompatible with Western democracies. When you have to profess the Quran, you have to profess Muhammad as being the last prophet of God, and you have to follow his Sunnah. His Sunnah includes marrying a girl, a prepubescent girl, when she is 6, consummated when she's 9. He's 54. We have places for people like that here in Western democracies. They're called prisons. Because pedophilia is against the law, and rightly should be. And anybody in their right mind that has a conscience is able to recognize this. So when people start bringing these facts up, this is where you see this hatred. Or I'm not say hatred, but this visceral hatred, I guess, as a reply. Because what you're doing is you're telling a Muslim that their prophet is not, 98.6, the worst of creatures. He is. I mean, anybody that would do that to a little child, as a man my age, do that to a little 9-year-old girl. We all know innately it just does not get any worse than that. And this is why it's not going to. Islam cannot survive, cannot thrive in a Western society where you have a free flow of information. And this is why you and I both see this every single day, why we're criticized openly and why we're trying to, people try to deplatform what we do, is because they have to silence the truth. Because if they don't and the truth comes out, people are going to be leaving Islam by the thousands like they are today. And I will tell you, I'm a teacher, and I always tell people, I said, if I have to teach Islam as a culture, the first thing that I would do is I would introduce Muhammad's child marriage to Aisha, and then everything else about Islam, I would provide one of the most fair and equitable presentations of it. But and it's called poisoning the well, it's a logical fallacy, but if you get that out there, first off, kids know this, and that it factor is immediately put up there, and everything else that follows that, it's game over.
Exactly. I 100% concur with you, and that's the problem. Even Aisha was playing with dolls, and playing with dolls is considered idolatry unless you are prepubescent, and that's the hadith of Sahih al-Bukhari. And dude, like they have to run left, right, and center. That's what they have to do to avoid these things, because Quran allows even beating, like let alone everything else. They even allows beating of wives. Like duh. Like what else can you do?
I was just opening the reliance of the traveler to the wife beating clause on page 541 and 542, and anybody that says that you cannot legally beat your wife in Islam is just absolutely ignorant, completely ignorant of what the religion teaches, or they're trying to deceive you and they're trying to lie to you. Because again, this is one of the most abhorrent things that you could do. A man beating a woman is simply not accessible in Western cultures. And this is why if you do this as a man, here in the United States, we can take away one of your fundamental rights of owning a firearm. Because if you've shown that you cannot control your anger to the point where you were going to beat a woman, strike a woman, you're most certainly not capable of exercising your Second Amendment freedoms of owning a firearm. So even here in the United States, it's recognized that beating a woman for any reason whatsoever is completely wrong, and we have codified it into our own laws, and we'll take away one of your fundamental rights for doing it.
Awesome, that's good. So basically, Kenny Boomer cannot have a firearm, right?
No, a man, anybody that is convicted. This is called the Lautenberg Amendment. Anybody that is convicted of domestic violence, it has to be a conviction. I mean, you can't be accused of it, because some women will just accuse a man of, well, he hit me, and then it turns out that she was just mad at him for, I don't know, maybe he had an affair or whatever. But if you're convicted of domestic violence, you are not allowed to carry a weapon. And this even carries over into the military. I'm a retired Army Master Sergeant. I saw this happen to my soldiers all the time. If they got hemmed up on a firearms, or not a firearms charge, a domestic assault, a domestic abuse charge, and then they were convicted of it, you can't carry a firearm, therefore you can't be a soldier, and they would be kicked out of the military for it.
Awesome. And by the way, we already know that Muhammad beat Aisha at her chest and she felt the pain, but I want to show this. The playing with the dolls and similar images is forbidden, but it was allowed for Aisha at that time as she was a little girl, not yet reached the puberty. This is Sahih al-Bukhari 6130. When Aisha is at Muhammad's house, when Muhammad is doing the ding dong with her already, and she's playing with dolls. And that's what Sahih al-Bukhari 6130 is stating. That's what it is. And dude, like, how far out you have to go? Like, I don't know what else can I provide over here to do that.
What do you mean by that? I didn't understand what. How
Means
far out
like
do you have
these
to go?
these these Muslims actually come up and say, hey, at that time 9 years old was equal to like 16 years old and etc., and they would reach puberty maybe at 4 years old. Like these claims come up by saying that she was not a child, and like they are going against their own basic uh, teaching
Their
of Islam.
books. Yeah, they're going
Exactly.
against it because they have to hide it. It's there for everyone to see. And that's what I was saying is any honest person that has found themselves or that are in Islam, with every lie that the other Muslims are saying, they're leaving because they can read too. And I'm thankful to God for this.
If it was a cultural matter, it would not be all that big of a deal today in 2020. But the fact is that Muslims are charged with following the example that Muhammad sent. They're told that they have to follow his sunnah. And one of the things that he did, which is sunnah, is, of course, marrying and consummating the marriage of a 9-year-old girl, and he was 54. So it wouldn't be that big of a deal if it was just a cultural thing, back in the 7th century. Well, it would be, but I mean, by today's standards, it would not be that big of a deal in its application. But the problem is that as it is applied today, it's completely incompatible with just about every society on the planet. There was Bob the Builder. You know who Bob the Builder is? With
Bob the Builder is a cartoon show. Are you
yeah,
talking
okay, yeah, that guy is.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
he's
he's
absolutely
awesome.
fabulous. He was on Speaker's Corner the other day. I was watching a video of his, and there was a kid. I don't know, maybe 20, a kid to me. I'm 20 years old or so. And one of the things that he had brought up was that Muhammad had married Aisha when she was 9 years old, and he was trying to tell the kid. He said, "Okay, find a hadith that that refutes that." And the kid's looking, he can't find it. And then he finally asked him. He goes, "Okay, do you think that is wrong?" And the young man said, "Yes, I think that is wrong." And that clearly demonstrates that even your most devout Muslims know in their conscience that law that God has given us, that he's written on our hearts, that is indeed evil. Even though they're spiritually blinded by Islam, they can recognize the fact that for a 54-year-old man to do that to a little 9-year-old girl is wrong. Has to be wrong in any context, in any context, and at any time. So it doesn't matter if Muhammad did it or not; it is wrong. And if Muhammad did it, he was wrong, and that would, of course, take away a lot of his credibility as a prophet.
Just to add to your point over here, buddy, the situation is that if it was allowed back then, it would be allowed to marry the woman with the same kind of an age guy, you know, like boy would be 15 or 14 or 12, girl would be 9 or 8, whatever. I would still digest that because in my culture where I grew up, this was common, right? People would be like 12, 13, married with the girl 9, 8 or whatever, something like that. This was so common, and I was used to of this,
How
because
old
like
were the men? Hey, Adam, if I can interrupt you, how old were the men normally when this happened?
which man? The guy, the kid. The kid is like 14, 15, 18, 19,
Okay,
whatever.
so these are young boys marrying a young girl.
Young girls, right?
Okay.
Their parents will arrange the marriage and they will get married and etc. etc. This would feel comfortable, right? But like now you're talking about 9 years old girl marrying with a 53 years old girl, boy or guy or adult. This, even in Pakistan, when somebody does that, he was penalized. He was called a child raper But as soon as you turn the tables and say Muhammad did that, everyone keeps quiet. It's like everyone just like the snake just sniffs everyone at that particular time, and then everyone is kept quiet. The 80 years old guy in Sindh married a 11 years old girl. In the news channel, it was a news. Hey, this is rape, this is this is that, this is etc. This is etc. and etc. etc. And the refutation was Muhammad married at the age of 53 with 9 years old girl. How is that not fine when an 80 years old guy is marrying a 13 or 12 years old girl somewhere around that time? So why are you refuting that? And all of these news went poof from the news channel, all of them, because nobody can deny that and nobody can say Muhammad did a bad thing. The basic principle of Islam is this. Sorry, wrong one. I was actually trying to show you this. This is what woman is in Islam. This is Sunnah Abi Dawud, Kitabun Nikah. If one of you marries a woman or buys a slave, so these two things are combined. If you buy a slave or marry a woman, this is how women are treated. He should say, "Oh Allah, I ask you for the good in her and in the disposition you have given her. I take refuge in you from the evil in her and the disposition you have given her." So, her or him, in case of a slave, or her in case of a woman that you are bearing, that you want to ask Allah to save me from her evil. You want to ask Allah that you want to see good in her. And then he says, when he buys a camel, like a camel, an animal, okay, he should take hold of the top of his hump and say the same kind of thing. Abu Dawud said, Abu Sarah added that the following words in the version he should add: hold the tail flock and pray for the blessing. And this is Kitabun Nikah, and this is Hassan al-Abani. So this is like almost as good as Sahih. And Hassan, these scholars actually keep it as authentic. So once again, these are the things that you have in Islamic religion. Like, this is also another narration, uh, which is also Hassan. Once again, it doesn't matter how many hadiths I will show you, but it's the same thing. Like woman and slave and camel. That's how you treat a woman.
It's the same in Muhammad's farewell sermon. He says, "Be kind to women because they are like domestic animals alongside you."
Exactly. Thank you. But like, you know what, Dana? You would hear the first part of the sentence from Muslim saying that he said it in the al-Widai khutbah, be kind to
Mm.
women, but they will stop there. They will not read the full sentence because they are like the domestic animals. They will not read the full sentence. Just like when they read the Quran, chapter number 5, verse number 32, say, if you kill a man, it is as like killing the whole humanity. They won't even read the whole verse, which says, we said it to Bani Israel, the people of Israel. But the Quran chapter number 5 verse number 33 is the one that, oh Muslimin, do this. Do go and fight and kill the people, cut their hands and feet, or kill them or crucify them if they create fasad or fitna on the land. So this is how deceptive it is, like, quite frankly.
But let's look at the definition of the farewell sermon of what Muhammad meant by being kind to women. He said, "Give them food and clothes and beat them only for some reason."
And that's what Quran verse is as well.
That's what, yes,
And
only
that's
for
what
some reason.
only for some reason. That is Quran chapter number 5 verse number, okay, where it is. Okay, what happened? Okay, Quran chapter number 5 verse number 34. And that's what it says. Oh, 534 or 4
434.
434 434, my bad. Surah An-Nisa 434, and it simply says Azrubuhunna, which means strike them or scourge them. That's what Pektal is actually translated it into, because this literally means beat them in a way that they will go red, green, and blue, and their skin will feel the pain, and they will have this kind of a situation, unfortunately.
There is one verse in the Quran that gives complete equality to men and women.
Really?
Yes, I'll tell you. It's Surah 5, ayat 38.
Okay, 538. Let's go
Look
there.
it up. Complete equality for men and women.
Okay. As for the thief, both male and female. Oh. Okay, perfect. So, okay, at least you have one location where male and female are equal. Man, this is crazy.
Cut off the hand of the thief and the thiefess.
Same punishment for both.
Yes.
Same, same punishment for both. Like,
in the Sharia, they have the same treatment for both of them when it comes to the treatment of the body, where it talks about on page 59 about circumcision.
mm-hmm. Yes, but that's not in Quran. And yes, even in Saudi,
sorry.
people are still doing that. No, you are right. You're right. In Saudi, people are still doing that based on the ahadiths. It is not a part of Quran, but they are still doing that. And that's the worst thing that you would do to a woman. Like, there are so many medical repercussions of that.
I just can't understand why people aren't. I mean, why there isn't just this universal condemnation of it. I for the life of me, I just cannot believe that anybody in any culture at any time would accept that being done to a little girl.
There is condemnation, but they do everything they can to say it has nothing to do with Islam.
Oh no, it is. There are so many of ahadiths on that. So
There
like,
are hadith that support this practice.
yeah, but like they are not in the mainstream ahadiths they are referencing. Just like eating the murtad or the apostate is not in the mainstream, but in the reference of what people did and Muhammad approved kind of a thing. It's in those kind of things. But they use that. Like, that's the thing. They use these kind of things. Like show me a single hadith which is sahih, which says that Muslim will have 72 virgins in heaven, 72 huris. You will not find a single sahih hadith. But in every Muslim country, you will see that proclaimed in the mosques. That's how it is. And if you see this genital female genital mutilation, it is like there are 4 different types, and unfortunately I know some people who went through the type 2 already, which is a partial or total removal of clitoral glands and the labia all the way, right? Just so they will. Man, just crazy. I don't even.
It talks about the two. Well, hold on a second. It talks about the Hanabali hold that circumcision of women is not obligatory, but it's sunnah, while the Hanafi consider
Hanafi.
it a. I'm sorry.
Hanafi.
Okay, consider it a mere courtesy to a husband. How can that be a courtesy?
So that husband will enjoy more and woman will not be able to enjoy, because they seal the thing and make it much smaller where you penetrate in. So they stitches it, and you will have much more smaller thing to penetrate. Dude, come on, we are live. So
okay, all right.
I'm trying to be as civil as I can.
Did you set your YouTube settings properly so this is not?
Well, you know, the women can say it.
Yeah.
But you know, you men can say it
work
too.
Around it, right? We have to be very careful as we tiptoe. We have to tiptoe it around it to an
Don't
extent.
tiptoe. Look, I'm a woman, okay? Don't tiptoe, because as you tiptoe, then you're only not protecting the little girl. So we're exposing this so the little girls will be protected and the men can hear it and they can go, oh my goodness, I need to walk away from this. Don't tiptoe. I'm a woman, okay? And you can probably ask Diane. She's probably saying the same thing.
Well, I'm not going to tiptoe. Are you telling me that their members are so tiny they have to actually commit breaking
There is a huge background noise on your side, Radical. You
That's
need to get out of that.
that's Robert, I think. Hold on. Yeah, that was Robert. Sounds like Robert's out to eat again.
Yeah,
He
he's
does that.
in a
He does
strange.
that on my show. I mean, he has this setup when he on my show. He'll be out riding his motorcycle, and I'm serious. He can hear everything we're saying. And when he has his mic there, there's no outside noise. I mean, you can hear him clear as day, and he's got his head cam going, and he's out there running red lights and so on and so forth. But I don't think he's able to wear that same setup there in the restaurant that he is in right now.
Yeah,
People
check
think it's
this
a little
out, guys.
weird.
This is one of the worst ayah in Quran. One of the worst. And Muslims will actually say that this is abrogated. Fair enough. I don't care. But it was implemented for a certain time period when two tribes of Makkah fought with each other, and they killed each other, people, when they were fighting. And then this ayah came down as a legal retribution. It was legal retribution prescribed by Allah. Look how demonic Allah is. O ye who believe, retribution is prescribed for you in the matter of the murder. The free man for free man, the slave for slave, and the female for female. So basically, if you have killed a female in battle, they cannot kill the guy who killed the female. They can kill a woman on that behalf. Because what was happening is, if you see the tafsir, what was happening is that they wanted to kill the free man for all the people that they actually killed. And Allah came down and bestowed this verse that no, you cannot kill all the free men of Quraishi. You can only kill a free man for a free man, and you can kill a slave for a slave, and you can kill a female for a female. That's what Allah is actually claiming. And you can actually go for Tafsir 2178. I'll go there, Al Tafsir 2178, and you can see what happens over here. And they will say this is abrogated in ruling, but still in Quran 178. The problem is that this thing still being in Quran creates a huge problem. So now look at it. Terms regarding the slain, both in attributes of one slain and action involved, a free man is killed for a free man, not for a slave, and a slave for a slave, and a female for a female. The Sunnah makes it clear that male may be killed in retribution for a female, and that religious affliction should be taken into account so that a Muslim cannot be killed in return for a disbeliever, even if the former be a slave or a leader. But once again, this guy is not giving. Let's look at Asbabul Nazul, because I want to show you why this verse came. So this verse came. So fighting took place between two Arab tribes. One tribe had more power than the other. Therefore, they said, for every slave of ours that you kill, we will kill a free man of yours. And for every woman of ours, a man of yours. And then this verse was revealed. So Asbabul Nazul means the reasoning of the verse to come down or descend upon Muhammad. Like Allah is like a fake ID card of Muhammad anyways. We all am, because make a woman less in their. Okay, somebody else has to answer this. I am unaware of this question. What is FGM?
Female genital mutilation, the circumcision of a woman.
Eric, you answer this.
I don't know if about it says their monthly, if they're going through if they menstruate does not change. No, exactly right. Female genital mutilation will not change the menstrual cycle of a woman. A woman has a menstrual cycle that is essentially set, and just because you remove one part of her body is not going, unless you remove the ovaries or the uterus or something like that, it's not going to stop the monthly cycle.
Right. The monthly cycle comes out of the vagina, not out of the clitoris.
Okay, that was pretty.
Right. So that's
straightforward.
no, that's the way you say it. Okay. That is the way it is. And so, yes, this person's right. His contradiction, it's not making any sense. It's demonic.
Everything about Islam is demonic, and that's what we are trying to show to these people. So anyhow, guys, is there any question that I left out? But one of the comment that Dana sent over here is, yes, Dana, you're absolutely right. You can actually read it out loud. If they claim that it was culturally normal, then we need to see one other evidence of 50, 60 years old guy marrying a 7, 8, 9 years old girl as well, which we will not be able to see. And Dana, perfect, right on the spot. And Dana just sent us a sunnah of Tirmidhi. So no, this is not Dana who sent it. This is Dana sent it. Awesome. Okay, Dana, here we
Yes.
go. We'll show this screen because Eric was speaking about it. So the Tirmidhi hadith. When the circumcision meets the circumcised, then indeed ghusl is required. Myself and Allah Messenger did that, so we performed ghusl.
What's that?
So Aisha is narrating that she was circumcised. Because
Mm.
when the circumcised meets the circumcised, means the two people are having the ding dong.
So
One, both are
Gusel
circumcised.
Gusel is ding dong.
No,
No,
ghusl is the taking the bath. Ding dong means sex.
Okay, but okay, so what did you say Gusel was? What is that?
The bath, the proper bathing after having sex.
Oh, this is the consummation. Okay,
No, no,
yeah,
no,
okay.
no, 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 no. When you consummate the marriage or when you have the bed thing at night, after that you need to be ritually pure because now you are ritually dirty. Okay, to
Okay.
be ritually pure, there is a specific way of taking a bath or bathing or shower, however you may like to say it in English in America, shower. But that shower is specific type of shower where you have to recite certain verses of duas, and you have to put the water on the right side 3 times, left side 3 times, put the water in your nose, do the rinsing of your mouth 3 times, uh, clean like face, like there's a specific ritual that you have to follow to clean or cleanse your body after you come close to your wife or whoever you come close to and perform the intercourse. So that is called ghusl.
I did not know that.
Okay, I'm telling you, I have
Oh,
been
yeah.
doing that all my life.
So
A
this is
ritualistic
more,
person.
yeah, so this is more humiliating people. We're going to control you. We're going to insult your intelligence. So keep on doing this, do that, do this, do that. That's called humiliation. And it's insulting people's intelligence. It's just rules and rules and rules to where finally an honest Muslim will finally say, you know what, this is stupid. This is
Uh,
insulting my intelligence and only trying to control me. And a person that will finally turn to God will finally say, you know, this is just trying to control my every life on every little thing of my life. And I'm out. And that's what's happening with Islam these days is there's so many people coming out of Islam, and I am thankful.
Basically, in Islam, you cannot even see the items between the legs. It is haram when you are doing the bed thingy. Okay, you should not ideally see the items between the two legs. It's haram. You can have the unintentional gaze on it, but you cannot see it. The lights should be turned off. And when you do the sex with your wife, you have to recite a specific prayer. That prayer actually states, "Oh Allah, whatever comes out of this thing that we are performing, that child should be good in your eyes and let it not be evil," and etc., etc., etc. So every time you perform the sex on the bed with your wife, you have to recite this specific prayer. And a lot of Muslims will actually just recite it in Arabic, not knowing what it actually means. But when you actually read the translation, you will realize that this is what the translation is saying. You cannot have a sex for pleasure. You always have to have it thinking in mind that you will have a bear child.
How can that
So
be true? How can that be true if Muhammad's married to a prepubescent little girl, knowing that
um,
when he
he
consummates that
didn't.
marriage, that's not going to come out. Nothing's going to come out of it.
Do you think that he knew that why is the idda 4 month or 3 month and 10 days? So idda idda means after you divorce, the girl has to wait for 3 months, 10 days, or 4 months. Why? So that you would be sure that she is not pregnant. If Muhammad would have known that one single menstruation cycle will tell you that she is not pregnant, this idda or the waiting period would not be 3 months. It would be like when she has the next periods. He
Right.
didn't know jack about it. According to Muhammad, if a male ejaculates first, the child will be male. And if the female ejaculates first, it will be a female. Come on, guys, like that's the reality of the situation.
That's
Well,
7th century biology.
Muhammad's
Exactly.
eldest daughter looked exactly like his first wife, and their youngest daughter looked exactly like him. So maybe he was just confessing that he got more and more selfish as their marriage progressed.
Yep.
Hey,
Okay, Dana, because I know you have studied a lot, so I'm gonna put you on a hot seat. I'm sorry for that.
Okay.
Fatima,
Yes.
the specific daughter of Muhammad, whom he loved
Yes.
so much.
Yes.
Do we have any textual evidence that claims or states with evidence and purity and surety that she was of him, not from the previous husband?
Yes, she's always referred to as Fatima bint Muhammad. We know
True.
the name. Khadija was married twice before Muhammad, and we know the names of the children from those marriages. It is never listed that Fatima was among them, but it is listed that Fatima was born in the year when the Quraysh rebuilt the Kaaba. And this year we know was 605, about 10 years after Muhammad married Khadija.
Okay, but
wow.
the Kaaba was built when Muhammad was still a young boy as well. When he put the stone and placed it on the sheet, and all the four tribes were holding the corner, and they placed it on in the
Yes,
Kaaba when he
that,
was
that was that was the year 605 when Muhammad was about 34 years old.
okay. So
We
so that
also know that we're
please.
also told that Fatima was a few years younger than Ali, her husband. So
Yes.
she was 3 to 9 years younger than Ali. That's what their uncle Abbas said.
So okay. So she was probably Muhammad's, not probably. By these references, she was truly
Yes,
his daughter.
unless Khadija did something very wrong, Fatima was the daughter of Muhammad.
Fair enough. We cannot support that evidence at this moment, but yeah, fair enough.
Mm.
I agree. Sorry to put you on the hot seat, but yeah, this is
No,
good
that's
information.
fine. So Khadija had several children by her previous marriages, of whom the most important was Tahir ibn Abi Hala, a son by her second husband. He actually lived to fight in the Battle of the Camel.
Oh yes, and this Battle of the Camel is once again another topic in itself.
Yes.
But anyhow,
So we know who those people were, is all I'm saying.
perfect. So we went on for almost an hour now, and the whole topic was beating of wife, which went into the the wives as in general, or the woman as in general. But
Mm.
thank you so very much, guys, for coming up. Hey, Eric is showing something. Sorry, Eric, please.
Yeah, I didn't know if you wanted to see this, but this is
No.
a link that Robert had sent me yesterday about apostasy and how quickly people are apostatizing from Islam. It's 3 or 4 minutes long, almost 4 minutes long. I didn't know if you wanted to watch it or not. If not, it's not a big deal. But it is a lot of it is closed captioning. It's a translation, so I don't know how well that would work out here.
Can you send the link, Eric?
I
Yeah.
think I can do another video on apostasy in Islam, and we can show that
Yeah.
kind of off topic for today. But yeah, but
There we
anyhow,
go.
this is the
I'll make it
reality
fun.
of Islam. This is the reality of Islam when it comes to women, and these people come up and say, and by the way, women were given rights in Islam. This whole thing started after 1950s. Before that, you will not see these kind of things. So when the West started to give rights to women, and West is not biblical, like none of these, like America is not based on like the Sharia of Bible, the law of Bible. It's not placed like all of these laws are not biblical laws. So when these laws started to give rights to women, let me just put it this way, some atheist kind of a rights, some atheist kind of a country, uh, Yes, there are certain rules in it which says accept God, there is God, etc., etc. But like most of the laws are not biblical. When these people started to give rights to women, Muslims started to come up and say, "Hey, Islam gave so many rights to women." It's all a lie, all a fabrication, and I can destroy that claim any time of the day, any time of the day. And I'm an ex-Muslim. You all know that. I lived as a Muslim for 36, 38 years of my life as a Muslim in a Muslim majority country, going to mosque every day. Never missed a Friday prayer, almost never. Let me just not say never because yes, there were certain times when I was sick or something. Almost like, and never missed a fast. Even when I sick, I tried to fulfill the fast. And when I was extremely sick, which I know one occasion in my whole life, and I missed 3 fast, and I did the fasting after the Ramadan. So this is the kind of a Muslim, and I know the inside out of it. That's the reality. And Muslims, there are a lot of Western Muslims who are simply liars. That's the most cleanest word that I can use for them. So with that, we can end this. By the way, before we go, read the Bible. It will tell you how to treat with women. Woman is your church, just as the church of the Christ. If you die for the church of Christ, you have to die for the woman. That's what the Bible says. That's what the Bible says. She is yours forever. You are her forever. You marry her. You do not do polygamy. And when you marry her, it is a covenant of the God that established between male and female. In Genesis chapter number 2, verse number 28, I think, if I'm not mistaken, God said that we made male and female ahad. God said we made male and female flesh ahad. So flesh, once again, they will always be two, but ahad is unified into one. Just like God said, Sama Yazrael Yahweh Elohim Yahweh ahad. The same word is used over there. He made them one flesh, even though they are two flesh, but like in unity, in spirit, in essence, they are made one flesh. That is God. And this is the relationship that we have to keep with our God.
Yeah,
The bride
Genesis 2:24.
224. Yes, 224. So yeah, that's the beauty of our God. And the birth of our Lord Jesus Christ is coming. And people say, hey, how can God get birth? Dude, read the Bible. Jesus is his word, eternal divine word that came down to us in flesh. Why did he come down to in flesh? That is the question. Because he loved us so much. Because he wanted to give the eternal sacrifice for all of us. For us humans, not for the rocks. He didn't come for the rocks. He didn't come for the world as a rock or whatever. He came for us. The best creation that God did was us humans. He came down for us in flesh. The body was cursed, made sin. The body, not him, the body, the flesh. And that flesh was pierced on the cross. And via that blood, we have the salvation. Quran mentioned about the great sacrifice when Allah sent the lamb from the heaven to Abraham. The great sacrifice, cleansing through the great sacrifice. We know what the great sacrifice is. It is in Lord Jesus Christ, who came down for us and died on the cross. The birth of that word into flesh we celebrate on the 25th. It does not matter what people says. It's not 25th, it is April, it is June. Does not matter. Pick up any day. We just selected this day, and I've already done a video. When Muslims try to point fingers at you, show them that video. Christmas versus Eid Miladun Nabi. They don't know their own dates, and their calendar was there for 600 years. When Jesus was born, there was no calendar. That is why you have AD and BC. So accept him. Jesus is Lord. Take care, guys. Have a blessed day, evening, or night. Merry Christmas to everyone.
Merry Christmas.